Hi friends, good morning. How are we doing this morning?
Good.
Doing good. All right, well we're gonna get our science lesson started today. And guess what we're gonna learn about today? Can anybody take any guesses? We talked about the sun yesterday, and we talked about the effects of the sun. And can anybody take a guess as to what we might talk about today?
Are we gonna get sweaty?
We might get a little sweaty. We're gonna go out in the sunshine today, and it's hot out. So the sun's out today. So do we think it's gonna be cold or hot when we go outside?
Hot.
Hot.
It was cold this morning when I got to school.
Right, and that does happen in the morning. And what happens as the day goes on? Does it get colder or warmer?
Oh, it gets hotter.
It gets hotter. Oh, she doesn't know. Well, that's something that we're gonna think about today. Actually, I'm glad we got onto this topic, because we're gonna go over some vocabulary words that are gonna help us answer these questions that we're asking right now. And we're gonna come up with some definitions after we watch a video that talks about the unique characteristics of the relationship between the sun and the earth. And after we watch the video, we're gonna go over these vocab words where we're gonna come up with definitions together, and we're gonna come up with motions to remember these words and help you understand the relationship. So we're gonna read through these words together, and I'm gonna ask that as you read through them, you try to remember them and keep them fresh in your head, because we're gonna watch a video and you're gonna hear these words in the video, and it's gonna help you. They're gonna help explain what these words mean in the video. All right, so we ready?
Yes.
All right, let's start with the first word. We have energy. Can we repeat that word? Energy. And then we're gonna go down to shady. Shady. Remember our SH sound, the sh. Then we're gonna go down to sunny. Sunny. Everybody read heat.
Heat.
And hot.
Hot.
Warm.
Warm.
Cool.
Cool.
And cold.
Cold.
Yes,
Are
Gloria?
cool and cold the same thing?
They're pretty similar. We're gonna find out the differences though in just a little bit.
Okay.
So after we watch the video, we're gonna come back. We're gonna go over these definitions, or we're gonna go over these words one more time and come up with definitions that we think are appropriate for each word.
Okay, class. So now that we've watched the video and we've gone over the vocabulary and we've come up with definitions, we're all going to stand up together and we are going to go outside. Now, before we do that, I need you to listen. You're going to do two things. You're going to find a spot that's in the sun, and you're going to go and reach down on the ground and you're going to touch that spot. You're going to think about how it feels. What does it feel like to your hand? I'm not talking about the ground being hard or the ground being rough. We need to use our vocabulary terms that we have here to describe what we're feeling. Okay, so once you've touched one spot in the sun, you go find a spot in the shade and touch that. And I want you to think about the difference between the two spots. Which one's hotter? Which one's colder? Are they both cold? Are they both hot? When you're done with that, we're going to come back and line up just outside our door. All right, let's touch the ground, see what you guys notice.
Oh, it's hot. It's warm.
All right, let's go over this side. Give it a shake.
Oh, in the shade?
Ooh, it's colder.
Much cooler over
It's
here.
cooler over here. Okay. All right, let's touch the ground, see what you guys notice.
Oh, it's hot. It's warm.
All right, let's go over this side. Give it a shake.
Oh, in the shade?
Ooh, it's colder.
Much cooler over
It's
here.
cooler over here. Okay. All right, let's touch the ground, see what you guys notice.
Oh, it's hot. It's warm.
All right, let's go over this side. Give it a shake.
Oh, in the shade?
Ooh, it's colder.
Much cooler over
It's
here.
cooler over here. All right, class, thank you for lining up so nicely. When we go inside, I want you to go to your tables and get out your science journals and a pencil and sit quietly and wait for my next instructions, please. Okay, thank you for coming in and sitting quietly. What we're going to do now is we're going to write down what we call our findings. What did we notice? What did we learn? We can use a sentence start, we can use this sentence here to help us. So in our journal, we can write, when I touched the sunny spot, it felt cold. Now for my friends that are having a little more difficulty with the writing, you can just write the sunny spot was, and then fill in your blank. So you can choose either this sentence here or this sentence here, okay? And then what we are going to write is the same sentence here, but we're going to take out the word sunny and we're going to put shady instead. That'll be for the second sentence, or shady. All right, if you have any questions, raise your hand. I will walk around the room and help you as needed. You guys have about 5 minutes to write down your data. If you finish writing your sentences, you can draw a picture of what we were just doing.
Okay, class, you've all did a wonderful job working on your experiment, collecting your data. Now we're gonna pull out those science journals that we worked so hard on. Remember how we recorded our sentences? And we also took our data about the temperature that we felt at each time frame. So the first time that we're gonna start off with is 8:30. So can you open up your journals, and one by one, I'll call on you and tell me what temperature you felt when it was 8:30 this morning. So Kristen, what temperature did you feel this morning at 8:30?
It was cold.
Cold, okay. And this was was it cold in the sunny or shady spot?
It was cold in the sunny spot.
Sunny spot, okay. Now, what did you feel in the shady spot?
It was cold.
Okay, so both cold. Gloria, what about you? What did you feel in
I felt the same thing as Christine.
okay.
It was cold in both. I needed my sweatshirt.
I needed mine too, actually. Okay, good. So now we see that our data shows us that 2 people thought it was cold when it was sunny in the sunny spot, and 2 people thought it was cold in the shady spot. We're gonna go ahead and now look at the next page for our 11 a.m. data. Kristen, can you look in your booklet and tell me what you wrote down for the sunny spot at 11 o'clock?
It was cool.
Cool. And what about your shady spot?
It was still cold.
Cold or cool?
Cold.
Because we remember from our definitions that we went over earlier, cold is much colder than cool. So it was cold in the sunny spot?
In the shady spot, it was still cold.
Thank you. Gloria, how about you?
I don't think so. I thought it was warm in the sunny spot, and I thought it was cool in the shady spot, because it wasn't as cold as it was in the morning.
That's a good observation. Did you remember to record that in your booklet?
I said it was warmer now. For 11 o'clock, I said warmer now.
Yes, so sunny spot was warm, and then you said the shady spot was cool.
But warmer. The shady spot was cool, but it was warmer.
Oh, although it was still cool, it was a little bit warmer than earlier in the day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a very good observation. Thank you for that. We'll have to take note of that. The shady spot was warmer at 11 than 8:30. All right. And so we'll take our data on our last observation, which was at 2 p.m. Now, how many of you, let's make some predictions here, because good scientists always make predictions. They look at all of before they collect the data, they use their brains and all of their previous knowledge to come up with educated guesses and try to figure out what's going to happen. So what do you think our results will be at 2 o'clock?
I don't think it's gonna be hot.
All of the sunny and the shady spots will be hot?
I think the sunny spot will be hot and the shady spot will be warm.
So you think everyone will have the same thing?
Not the same. I think there's still gonna be a difference between the two.
I agree with her. I think the sunny spot's gonna be hot, but the shady spot's gonna be warm. It's not gonna be cold anymore.
Okay, well, let's see what you guys recorded in your books. So Kristen, what did you get for the sunny spot?
I said that it was hot.
Okay, and what about the shady spot?
It said that it was warm.
And Gloria, what did you get for your sunny spot?
I got hot. It was hot. It hurt my hand.
Oh no, are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, and what did you get for the sunny or the shady spot?
I said it was warm because it wasn't as hot as the sunny spot.
Nice job. So now that we have all of our data written down, we're going to look over everything that we collected, and we're going to do what's called analyzing our data. And we're going to talk about it as a class. And then because we're running out of time, it's so close time to go home, we'll go ahead and fill out those conclusion statements tomorrow when we come back in. So everyone make sure that you keep all of your data together, and then tomorrow we'll go over it as a class and we'll finish those sentence starters that we started earlier today, okay?
Okay.
All right.
For the last part of our demonstration video, we have the conclusion, which with a kindergarten class, I would do what's called a shared writing, in which we sit and we have a discussion about our findings and what the data told us. And so what we found was that the data told us that in a sunny area, the ground is going to be much warmer than in a shaded area. But why is that? And so we would have a discussion with the students. We would lead to something like, the sun makes things hotter, so when the sun shines directly on a spot, it's going to be warmer than a spot that's being blocked from the sun by a tree, or a building, which creates the shade. So what we can conclude is that sunnier spots are warmer than shady spots. And we would write this as a class, and I would have students take turns coming up to write one word as part of our conclusion on a big piece of shared writing that we would put up on the wall with our experimental design explanation, something that we can share at back to school night or on Family Fridays with parents. So I might have a student come up and write, we, and then have the next student come up and write, found, and let that student sit down, and we would work on each word and spelling it all out for those friends that don't know quite how to do it. This is a great time to do accommodations for students that have a harder time with writing, because you can take the opportunity to work with them and write hand over hand. And that's a great way to help students learn how to form their letters. Or you can have those students that are a little bit weaker in your writing area or your printing, have them come up and you can work directly with them, and now you're combining your different standards. You're meeting different needs for different students. The other thing that we can do is, for some of our friends that have a harder time with the reading, we can visualize it for them. And so we can put a sun up here, and I would have the sun's rays, and it would be beaming down on an area of our sidewalk. And then I would have an area, I would have the sun also over here, and maybe have a tree here. And here's my sidewalk. But because it's shaded, I'm gonna color this side in and make it darker so that we can see the difference. And then we can put here that this is hot and this is cool.